Okay, so I thought it was finally time for me to update what is, in my opinion, this is not like, because I've done, vote videos, but what is, in my opinion, the top 10 best units in the game. And how I evaluate units is by how useful they are and by how much use you can take out of a unit. And that's, to me, what makes them better than other units. But of course, units are made for specific areas of the game. So let's say, yeah, Blue Bond might be better than Lost Vein Meliodas at defeating the Red Demon. I'm not gonna agree against that, but one is more useful in the whole general sense of the game than another. So that's how I rank units, and yeah, so this is my top 10. Now, before I get to top 10, I actually want to talk about a unit that isn't in the top 10, but I do think the more time passes, he might see more and more use, which is Red Zeldrus. I have Super Awakened for him recently, and honestly, he's such a versatile unit. Having the card that depletes ultimate gauge and seals healing, and his passive, which gives 6% per commandment. So if you have him, he counts. And then you have like Dariari, and then Esterosa, and then like it's just, the boost is really good. And you can put him in the back as well for the passive to work. So, in general, he's just a fantastic unit, and again, with more time goes on, I think he's gonna have more use. He's not in my list, but I do think he's a fantastic unit. Now, for number 10 is, I was in between him and Zeldrus. It's Green Ascendor. Green Ascendor has still proven to me to be a fantastic unit. He is so goddamn good, still. Like, no matter how tough the meta goes, he can still fit somewhere. He's still good. Like, I just tried him on the Easton team. He's really good. Like, he holds up as being super good in PvE and manages to pass out in PvP even till this day. It's been, what, a year almost since he came out, and he is still like super top tier, like in the game in general. So Green Ascendor, more than Red Ascendor, has proven to me to be really good. I mean, Mono Red is a fantastic team. It has its ups and downs, but it's a very consistent team. On global, it's like super good. But we're talking about JP, and Green Ascendor is just better in general. He, like, the damage that he provides is just way too good. Can't wait for the one, but for now, that's the Ascendor that we have. I can't wait for even a blue Ascendor. That would be really good. Number 9 is Merlin. She, again, very versatile unit. She isn't a unit that you want to be in the field with. She's a unit that you want to be in the back, and she's always there. She's always there. It's like every meta comes, every meta goes, and every meta she is there in the back. Like every single meta. Depletes ultimate, like the cars don't matter. This is what matters. It gives an ultimate gauge, and that's just. You have this, right? That gives an ultimate gauge plus the ultimate food, and that's just the wombo combo. That's just way too good. Like, I think the devs were like making units in the beginning of the game, and they were making her like, oh, one ultimate gauge, that's doesn't seem too much, that's balanced. It ended up being that she's an amazing unit. So yeah, she's really good. She's really, really good. And then number 8, some people might think I would have her higher in the list, but it's actually Dariari. Now, the reason why she's so low, like she's in the top 10 still, but it's just how the game has moved. You can see if with the progression of events on JP, how they are trying so freaking hard to counter her more and more and more. Like, she's not good in PvP, so that just completely takes her off the thing. She's like the best PvE unit in the game, but the game keeps nerfing her. Every single new event that comes out has to nerf her somehow. She's so good that she still passes on, even though like they tried at their best. Like, let's say the new hockey event, right? If you don't know what Dariari does, maybe play global. She boosts herself every time she attacks by 10%, and her ult has amplified, so for each buff she has extra 30% damage, and her blue card also buff herself. Gives a maximum of 4 buffs, or 3 if you pass 1 turn. So she's a unit that keeps buffing herself and everything. New Hawk boss comes out, he removes buffs every turn. New guild boss comes out, he removes buffs. Like, every single new activity that comes out, they try their absolute best to stop her. I just realized I already played this song. Please have it down. They tried their absolute best to stop her, and she gets mega cucked. But she's still fantastic. She's still like the best damage dealer for Guild Boss. Like no matter what, even though they tried to counter her, she's still like best, and she's still the best. It's just that, in my opinion, PvP is such an important area of the game that even though she is, like I'm not saying she isn't, she is the best PvE unit in the game. She is the best PvE unit in the game. But it's even still, like competing with units that are good in both PvE and PvP is rough. Which, moving on, is for number lost count, for number 7 is Blue Demon Meliodas. He is just so good. Like he's stupid good for farming, of course, everyone knows that. He's stupid good for farming, he's stupid good for any PvE activity that has multiple enemies, if you combine him with Lilia, which is the next one. I'll talk to them, both of them at the same time for a little bit, but Lilia still takes a spot over him. He's super fantastic for farming, of course, but he still holds up in PvP. Nowadays, let me tell you something, no one's using Red King in the back. No one. I've been playing PvP these days so much, and no one's using protection for penetration. No one. So you can still take him. Oh, misclick. You can still take him, and he will still do super well. Sorry, I had to make a pause. He'll still do super well, like on PvP, and in general, he's just so versatile nowadays, especially because no one's using Red King. Like he's so versatile. He fits with the new Easton, and he just. Of course, he had his ups and downs, but now, currently, I think he's just a phenomenal unit. So useful, he's so useful, and that's a very good keyword I like to use, useful. And then Lilia, like, she goes hand in hand with Meliodas, so wherever he is, she is, but also she can be used by herself in take-off ultimate gauge teams, and just in general, more teams than Meliodas. If I put her on spot 6, right above him, she's also really good, and buffing the pen of all allies doesn't only restrict to units that have their things based on pen. Like if you have her with Ascendor, you see how much stronger he gets. Like you see how much stronger units get. Like Lilia is just a fantastic unit. Again, healer, the healing is really good, and just the take-off ultimate card. The take-off ultimate gauge card is really, really fantastic. So many builds still work because of Lilia. So, moving on, number 5 is my boy King. Now, put him a little lower because of Easton. She's in the list, of course, but King is so fantastic. Everyone knows, everyone has him, you know, everyone has used him a lot. Petrify is so stupid, the cleanse is so stupid, his ultimate is so stupid. In general, he's just a very balanced and overall great unit. Of course, you get his first copy for free, but all the other ones you have to buy from the coin shop, and I do recommend doing so. Having him 6 out of 6 is just something else, man. He just hits so hard. Having him, you know, 6/6 King with a DN link is just a clean wipe on most teams on PvP, even till this day. So, like, a unit that came with the game being so high on the list is just... So, I mean, the unit that came with the game is also high on the list, but you get what I mean. Like, a unit that came with the game as a free story mode unit should be this high is just super impressive, right? And then Blue Elizabeth, I hate her. I absolutely despise her. Absolutely despise her. Now, if I made this list 3 weeks ago, should have been number 1 spot. Guaranteed. Should have been the number 1 spot. Because her revive is... is something I wish never had come to the game in the first place. It's just the absolute most broken thing in the game. Because it absolutely cucked any single target ultimate unit in the game. Any unit, like she ultimately very much cucked Derriere to be in PvP and Ascendor, because a lot of their gimmick was to rush their ult, single target, and one-shot any unit. Well, guess what? With her, if you rush turn 1, get your ultimate, doesn't matter, because that unit is gonna get revived with full HP. Like, because most times, you know, you wanna use Derriere's ult in someone full HP, just one-shot them. But they're just gonna come back revived with full HP. Yeah, you take off the revive, but still. It made so AoE units become way more relevant than single target units, and that just cucked so many units in the game to be even relevant in PvP. It's just so stupid. And her shield is just, ugh. Her shield is the most annoying thing ever because there's so many cards that you just cannot use when you're facing Elizabeth. Because, well, let's say I want to use Blue Demon Meliodas. She puts up a shield, the triple pierce doesn't work anymore. So, unlucky, I guess. It's stupid. Oh my god. She's the most annoying unit in the game. She has stun, which is much more annoying than... okay, it's not much more annoying than Petrify, they're both annoying. But they can stun you and still do things with your corpse, if you know what I mean. So it's just like... annoying. It's just annoying. Absolutely despise this unit. Now moving on with number 3. And this is a recent one, so a lot of people might disagree. But in my opinion, Green Easton is the 3rd best unit in the game. I have multiple reasons for that claim. I have the best reasons for this claim. First of all, by herself, cards-wise, she is absolutely insane. Weak point single target is a super broken card, and this card made the game flip on 180. It went from every single person in the game could not compete if they didn't have Lost Vein King Elizabeth to now so many more units are relevant. So many more units in the game are relevant now. Because let's say you are using Lost Vein King in Elizabeth. Well, guess what? If you face Easton, you're gonna get absolutely cucked. So now people are moving on to using other teams in fear of facing Easton. And that's exactly what I wanted weeks ago. Like if you check my log of videos, you will see in like my my list of videos me complaining, please make a counter to this team. It's annoying. Every single match is the same team. And this unit is that. This unit is literally that. Well, let's not even say that, right? Not only she has this, right? On top of that, her ultimate, if she crits, it's a one-shot. So she has, I don't want to say Blue King level ultimate because it's not, but she has an amazing AoE ultimate that at 6-6, one-shots in unit. Oh, it's only 1-6-6. Well, that's every unit. That's every unit. Like if you take Blue King with 1-6, he's not gonna hold that hard, okay? We're talking about 6-6 here with the AoE ults. And at 6-6, if she crits on someone, that's a one-shot, alright? AoE. And then, her passive, which is so long, increases all allies' pierce, crit chance, and crit damage by 5% per debuff on enemies, limits to 8 times. Well, if you use level 2, there's gonna be 6 debuffs, so that triggers that 6 times, right? It's 30% crit chance and crit damage and pierce rates to all allies, just by using your level 2 card. Now, let's say you just get another debuff on there just by accident. Or let's say you use level 3, which is actually 8 debuffs in total. I did the math correctly? No, it's Oh, no, it's... It's 9 debuffs in total. I'm stupid. It's 9 debuffs in total, counting all the enemies. So you're just triggering the full passive, which is giving all this to the enemies. And let's say, you trigger her whole passive, and then you ult. Well, you have an extra 40% chance to crit and extra 40% crit damage, which will become 80% crit damage because of the double spike right there. So she's just so good. And like, I have so many times, and you can see all my videos using her, where I just one-shot blue units with weak point. I just one-shot them. Blue King, Blue Elizabeth, I don't care. I just one-shot them. I trigger this. This increases her crit chance and crit damage. She does like a level 2 weak point card, and she one-shots them if she crits 3 times. She is absolutely insane. Now, she does not work without gopher, which is the second best unit and most useful in the game, in my opinion. I thought he had fallen because he became irrelevant on PvP because of King Elizabeth and Lost Vein, but now he is super relevant. Even if you don't have Easton, people have been running him on other teams again. He is just relevant again because lots of Easton teams, which is like probably the best team in the game, I would say, lots of Easton teams don't use a cleanser. So people are just using attack ceiling and Easton can't attack. So it's, I mean, and you're using her on the Easton team as well, right? So he just got so much more relevant just out of nowhere because of Easton as well on PvP. I mean, he was always relevant on PvE. You're going to be using him for the raids if you're doing extreme, and you're going to be using him for Hell, of course, Hell Crimson. But PvE activities in general, with a lot more difficulty, sometimes you wouldn't use him, or, you know, guild boss, of course you're gonna use him. So he's still really useful. I would say I would have put him like maybe spot 6 or 7 before Easton came out, but with Easton he just got so much relevancy, and I had to put him number 2. And number 1 is still Lost Vein. It's still Lost Vein. Yes, I talked so much about Easton, but you know what? She can't. Like, they didn't stop him. Because, yeah, Easton's super strong. But you know who else super strong? This card right here. This card right here, which one-shots Easton. Lost Vein is still super strong. If you pair him up with a Zeldrus, which cleanses debuffs, I've been trying that out recently, it works super well, and you can get your ultimates. And then if you rank up his cards, well, it doesn't matter if you seal his ultimate gauge, if he has a level 3 AoE, he's gonna almost one-shot your team regardless. He's so stupid. And in PvE, he's a demon in PvE, for any non-like boss activity, right? Story mode, farm, he's still a demon because his ultimate is a one-shot to anything, and then his AoE card in single target is super strong. So I still would consider Lost Vein Meliodas the best unit in the game. A lot of people have been like, oh, so should I skip Lost Vein for Easton on global? No. Lost Vein is still incredible. He is still amazing. It's just that because all the focus is on Easton, doesn't mean that this guy just got like obliterated from existence. She cucks way more King and Elizabeth than she cucks Lost Vein because, you know, Lost Vein has type advantage over her. So he's still a really good counter against her as well. If you're using red teams, again, like I said, if you use Zeldrus with him and you cleanse debuffs, he works super well still against her. So Lost Vein, I personally would still consider the best unit in the game. And that's it. This is my top 10 for GP. Let me know what you think of the placements. Let me know what would yours be. If you just want to give a top 5 or something because you don't want to think too much, because, you know, I had to take some time to think of a top 10. That's 10 units, right? If you want to just think of a top 3, top 5, and just leave a comment, that also works. But yeah, let me know of your opinions, and thank you guys for watching.